Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 16th of July. My name's Philip Kingston.
You are, and that is your name, and I'm Gary Peer. And it's a big new week in real estate,
You're a
Phil.
bit lethargic today, are you?
Well, you've caught me out, Phil. I've got to tell you, I'm a bit weary and I'm a bit angry. And I've got a beef.
So Gary's weary, angry and got a beef.
Yeah.
Okay,
Isn't that just the sort of person you want representing you in the sale of your home?
Yeah. I mean, this show's an upbeat show, Gary, so I'm not sure that there's a position for you here anymore.
There's one word, Phil. One word that sort of just threw me.
Go on.
Wimbledon.
Okay.
Well,
what's your beef? What's your beef with Wimbledon?
It's not with Wimbledon. I mean, probably the most exciting final ever in the history of tennis, Philip, of the Grand Slams.
Big
the
statement.
world number one and number two.
Yep.
Djokovic, Federer.
Yes.
Going at it. Blow for blow, head to head. So I'm watching on Sunday night, and I've got the matchsticks in my eyes, and it's 2-all, 5-all.
Two
You understand?
sets all, 5-all.
And it's now 3:10.
Yep.
And I actually can't stay awake anymore, right?
Right.
And of course, I've got a busy day. Mondays, Mondays are
Big
busy,
day.
very busy day.
Big day.
So I decide I'll press record and I'll watch it in the morning. So
Go
I
on.
hit record, watch it in the morning. And of course, these two, there's nothing
It's a
between
long
them.
story, this one.
Nothing between them, Philip. So I think I've got an hour on the recording.
Yes.
You wouldn't believe it. On match point, it freezes. Television, stop. End of episode. So how annoying is that? And I didn't add the extra 20 minutes on. Anyway, well, as it was, Djokovic won, but I missed the actual moment. But incredible. Tennis is incredible game.
Incredible
Sport's
game. And
amazing.
who can believe that Djokovic and Federer are still numbers 1 and number 2?
And Nadal 3, and no one can get.
incredible.
It's like they'll be 60 years old and they'll still no one's going to get a look in those guys, except the crazy Australians that just create trouble. And that's the only other thing going in tennis is got Tomic and Kyrgios just saying more silly, more offensive, more crazy things week in, week out. Anyway, big wrap at Wimbledon. Well done to the world number one, Djokovic. And I think everyone wanted Federer to get one more because I think people think he's got a bit less time left. Anyway, let's talk about real estate, Phil, because what a weekend we had. Mate, what's going on out there in the marketplace? I'm getting fired up again now.
Finally, we're back on track because it is a real estate show and the industry had a very, very
well done industry.
They had a standout performance
They did.
with an indry clearance rate of 76%, and the viewers are probably thinking 74 actually.
Yeah, I think it was
the viewers are probably thinking, well, how could we possibly?
You couldn't beat
how
that.
could Gary Peer and Associates possibly
couldn't-
beat that?
couldn't expect
well,
to.
we didn't beat it. We smashed it with
we really?
88%
Well
clearance.
done. That's all but one of our auctions selling, and some highlights amongst it, Philip. Some real highlights, very exciting ones. We'll review very quickly. We had that apartment in Sutherland Road.
Yes.
1-bedroom apartment. Reserve was $330, and lo and behold, Philip, just checking my notes here, sold for $309.
Try and look at the camera, Gary.
Oh,
Try not to look down.
Okay.
Try to look at the camera.
Philip, $396,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Massive
that's
result.
20%. Exactly.
Massive result.
20%
Given
over the reserve.
Given the fact that it's an older apartment, some of the brand new apartments are selling for $400,000.
They are.
But think about this: is that how much would it cost you to update that to become an apartment that's equivalent to brand new? So that is massive.
I haven't got a quote. Are you asking me for a quote?
Massive standout.
Exactly now?
No, Gary's an expert. I would
Okay.
I would think that you would easily say, look, it'd be $50,000 or $60,000 to do the refurbishment.
Well, as a professional, I wouldn't take a guess, Philip. I'd go and get it actually quoted.
So
exactly.
moving forward to what other standout results,
Well,
Gary?
Phil, Sunday we sold Blenheim Street before auction. Congratulations to the vendors of that. But my goodness me, Philip, Goulet Street, what a humdinger of an auction that was.
It was a humdinger,
It was a
Gary,
ripper.
and I don't mind talking about this because I was there, and I was there really to give you a critique as to your performance because I haven't seen you do an auction
sure it was
for
a good
long
idea
time.
to have you there. But anyway, go on.
Do you know what, Gary? I thought you did a very good job.
Thanks.
There's obviously a number of things that I will point out off camera that you could have done better.
Here we
but
go.
as a general view of the auction,
It's very difficult, guy.
I'm giving you an
How
8.
do I do it?
I'm giving you an
All
8
those
out of
years.
10. That's an 80%, Gary.
I'll take 80%. We never got that at school.
Which is a result you would
Neither.
never have had in your
No,
entire life.
in anything.
But having said that, I suppose it was a bit easy to do that auction given the fact that you had 7 bidders there.
Well, Philip, as it turns out, auctions like that, I say they're only as good as the auctioneer. But no, we did have a lot of interest
just
there.
on that, I reckon, and I say this, and a shout out to my dear mother who watches the show.
Yeah.
I think she could have done that auction.
Yeah,
She's
she
never
could have
done
done
one
it.
before, but
Well,
I
she
reckon
could
she
have done
could
it.
have done that one because that
she
was
would
as easy as it gets.
She would have been probably the best auctioneer in the Kingston family as well. We'll
Having
leave that for another
said
time.
that, you did a fantastic
Thanks, Phil.
job, and
Unbelievable.
What a price.
Look, incredible. Reserve was close and around the top end of the range.
Which was
1.3 to
1.43.
1.43. Reserve was close to the top end, Philip.
Yes.
But never really had a break. Just went straight through. First bid 1.3, second bid 1.4. Off we went, Philip, and sold for $1,000,000 $820,000. And Philip, before you go into your round, I just want to say that the buyer found it in the local paper. So for those people out there who feel that maybe print is dead, well, there you go. That was found and sourced through Property Weekly.
Print is very much alive and well.
Yep.
Having said that, most of the inquiry either comes through our internal nomination system, our database,
Many of it
or
does.
from realestate.com or domain.com. But having said that, print still plays a role.
Well, bought that buyer out. He lived in one of the surrounding streets, Phil. Got the local paper, the Property Weekly, which is also, of course, the insert of the Australian Jewish News. Buyer saw it there, came along. And said, thanks, I'll have it. And that buyer made the difference of probably $150,000.
So we talked, Gary, in the sales meeting.
7 bidders,
We
Phil.
talked in the sales meeting on Monday about how we think that the market has already kicked by 10%.
Well, is it possible?
For properties that we would regard as A or A plus or even A minus properties have already kicked by 10%.
Well,
What's your view?
we posed that as a concept. Leon Guzenfitter brought that up as a concept, and I've got to say there was a lot of appetite around the room for that concept being a correct one, Philip. So there was a view, and it's almost like, and you could have the heading of the show, "Did that happen?" And it's like all of a sudden, did that happen? That things, wow, 10%, bang, like that within 6 weeks. Is it possible?
So
Could it have happened? Did it happen? Answer questions.
We've always said to buyers that a market can pick up very quickly, and obviously when you've had a market correction, people think that it's going to be a long time before the market picks up.
Everybody thinks things are going to be worse than they're going to be, and they think they're going to be better than they're going to be. And the reality is, Philip, nothing good goes on forever, nothing crap goes on forever, and things sort of moderate out, but real estate generally does always go up, doesn't it, Phil?
So, and when it does go up, it goes up quickly.
And I've got to say, Phil, I've got to pay homage here to Professor Neville Norman, who's not just a friend of the company and not just a magnificent person. Him and Margaret.
Professors watch this show, viewers. You notice how I leaned forward to talk to the camera just for extra effect. Professors watch this show, and he's a real professor.
He is,
not a professor that bought his degree off the internet.
No, he's not one of those. It's not like definitely.
This is a real professor. This is a fair dinkum professor.
Not like Roy Higgins. They call him the professor as well, but it's not like Roy Higgins. This is a genuine jockey.
Is a jockey.
Yeah, but they called him the professor. That was his nickname. I don't know why they called him that, but someone will find out. Let me know. We'll give you some tickets and we'll play it next week. But Professor Neville Norman did say in March, Philip, he doesn't think things are going to be on the nose and bad and down. He thinks, in fact, Melbourne's going to go up 1.5% and Sydney 2.5%. And I've got to say, he stood in the face of all of those negative people with bad news, and he said some good news. And I think you're right, Neville.
So
well done, Professor.
If you ever want to speak to a professor, I would say Professor Neville Norman is the professor that you speak to, because not only is he...
Well, he's not available to speak to everybody.
But not only...
It's good of you just to give his time away, Phil. He's got things to do.
Give his mobile
what do you think he's got all day?
But not only does he know a lot about
Neville.
real estate, but he's also more bullish on the market than a lot.
Well,
but he also has the most incredible speaking voice.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, he was on the radio, Philip. He said. Anyway, look, that's just, I think just the fact that we're connected with someone smart is probably exciting for us, because let's face it, we certainly haven't mixed it with the smart people in our lives.
Well, there's not a lot of professors
that hang out with real estate agents. Phil, we've got a little bit of a reroute of the show, because Jeremy Rosens is waiting for us.
He's waiting for us right now. We've really taken this show to a whole new level, because we've now got reporters on the spot
all over the place. We've got Jeremy Rosens there
standing by,
and he
we'll
couldn't
make him wait for a few more moments.
You can wait there, Jeremy. You're exactly right. He's a cheeky boy, that Jeremy Rosens, but he's a very good real estate agent, and he's got a good property that he wants to tell us about. Shall we switch
just
over?
Before we do so, so we now have roving reporters. We've taken the show to a whole new level. We've got roving reporters out and about, and our thought with the show, Gary, is to actually have our people report live from properties that we think of a particular note.
Should we start doing costume changes as well on the show?
We may well do
get
so.
to that stage.
Goodness knows we can do with some makeup.
Exactly right, makeover.
So, shall we cut to Jeremy?
Let's cut over to Jeremy Rosens. An exciting property to tell us about. Let's hear it from Jeremy Rosens.
Hey guys, great to be on the show. As you mentioned, here we are at number 12 Jenkins Street in the heart of Caulfield South. This is a perfect family home on the perfect size block of land. 4 bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, fabulous living areas downstairs, whether it's informal or formal. And of course, the best bit about this, guys, is we are literally a drop punt away from Princes Park. Now, that's a drop punt for me. For you guys, you'd probably have to drop punt, pick up the ball, drive it around the corner and get to Princes Park, because neither of you are really noted for your sporting abilities. But nevertheless, you are great real estate agents. Enough about that. Let's talk about this home. Going to auction in a few weeks' time. It is in a price range that is fast becoming a thing of the past. This is great real estate, folks. Come on down, 12 Jenkins Street, a beautiful family home in a great location. Back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Rosens, for your interesting insight into that new property. Coming up in August, Philip, I think 18th of August.
We had a bit of a crack about our sporting prowess.
Yeah, no.
I'm not quite sure Jeremy has ever received any
no
adulation
exactly right.
or outstanding achievements award for his sporting prowess.
And people who hang out with professors and that whole intellectual lifestyle. Sports is not that important for them. Oh, mind you, the Demons did, no, they lost, sorry. Carlton won. Over in Sydney, and we won. Can you believe it?
Quick little bit of footballism.
Yeah.
Do you reckon your
junior
current
coach? Yeah, David Teague.
Do you reckon David Teague will make it?
You know what? How can you knock him? He's been there for 4 or 5 games. He's won 2 or 3, and he's lost by 50.
Have a go. Because you know the coaches that are available.
I would choose him.
Yeah,
I would choose him. But I don't think they will at Carlton.
Would you have Brett Ratton back?
I played golf with Brett Ratton. He's a lovely guy, Phil. And I think he was great. But I don't think he'll want to come back. And I don't know, he didn't do as well, and maybe it's a new team. If he could come back together as a co-coach or support coach, given that he's been under Alistair Clarkson, I'd say, please come back.
That's spoken from somebody that knows absolutely nothing about
Clueless
football.
about it, no. But Philip, talk about science, and I'm very good at that.
Talk about anything intellectual and give Gary
science,
a call.
exactly
and
right.
ring Professor Neville Norman.
Exactly right. Phil, this weekend, we only have, count them, you can count them on less than one hand. You can have one hand and just chop off 2 fingers, Philip, and you'd have the amount of auctions this
one
weekend.
Of the things that we would say, we are in the middle of winter.
Yes.
We've just finished with school holidays.
Yep.
The reality is the entire industry, all of Melbourne's stock offerings are generally at an all-time low.
Yes. I would have said, if you want to see real estate, go to Mykonos, because that's where a lot of them are, except this year it's more likely that they're in, possibly down the Bellarine Peninsula, Phil, I would say, it'd be more likely.
Not that there's anything wrong with the Bellarine Peninsula.
And if you want to see a good agent, just go down to the Caravan Park at Bellarine at Queenscliff, and there's going to be full of agents.
I reckon just for next time the market peaks.
Yep.
Here's something to consider, viewers. The time to sell your real estate.
Yes.
Because I'm talking about selling at the top of the market. And by the way, you shouldn't necessarily ever sell real estate. But at the time to sell real estate, Gary, is at the top of the market. At the top of the market. And do you know when the top of the market is, viewers? When your real estate agent in July is in Mykonos. That's the time to get out of the market. I reckon that's the ringing of the bell.
The bell is the Mykonos real estate. Beware and watch the Mykonos real estate agent, because
we call it the Mykonos Index.
Mykonos Index. That's the time to sell your property. I like that. It's very good. It's sort of like when it's time to sell shares, when the taxi drivers give you, now the Uber drivers give you share tips. Time to sell shares. Well, that's the time to sell real estate.
This is the Mykonos Index.
This is the Mykonos Index. Well, there's no Mykonos this weekend, Philip. So just the 3, Philip. We start off in Grandview Grove in Carnegie. Leo Samuel auctioning that one, and I think he's going to start off nice and early, Philip, at 10:30.
Gary, great address. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, lock-up garage, wrap-around courtyard garden.
Yep.
Carnegie, can't say it enough. That is the place to buy.
Phil, your only auction on Saturday is at 11:30. You've got a very quiet weekend. Maybe go off to the footy or just relax.
May well do that, although following Melbourne is really no source of pleasure on the weekend, Gary, but a source of pleasure in many, many ways is Robe Street.
Philip.
And how the world changes, because Robe Street used to be the heart of the red light district of St Kilda.
Is it of a concern that my mother and father met in Robe Street? Because they did actually, Philip. I've always wondered about that.
It's a
good story. It is true. They met at the Milk Bar on the corner of Robe and Grey Street, and I'm not, they looked back at it in a very positive way, but I've had to question it in recent years, Phil, when I've sort of looked back historically.
Given the fact that both your parents are no longer with us, I'm not going to make any jokes at their expense.
There was a lot of Europeans there in those days.
I was going to say, back in those days, it was the heart of the red light district. Now it's the epicentre of one of the coolest, most gentrified areas of Melbourne.
In fact, I think back that far ago, it was like the tourist, lively, it was sort of the energy of Melbourne was all around St Kilda. It got a bit seedy after they met.
But it's been completely gentrified now. And Robe Street, for those people aged over about 50 years of age, will remember the series of incarnations that it went through. Now, as I've said, it's the epicentre of Gentryville.
It's cool, Phil. You just go up the road, you've got cafes and restaurants and the beach and bars.
To the beach, to Ackland Street, to Fitzroy Street. In fact, it's equidistant, Gary, between Fitzroy Street and Ackland Street.
was going to say that
2 better locations.
I was going to say the same thing, but I never knew that word, Phil.
Equidistant would be a great Scrabble word, wouldn't it?
It would be. It'd be a long one. You'd have to have distant and put the equi in front of it. If you go to the triple, it'd be good. Phil, you're doing that auction at 11:30 a.m. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of the day.
I will.
Take it off. At 12:30, Philip, Graham Callan will not be taking off anything except his jacket because he'll be so hot and pumped up at the auction of Elizabeth Crescent. What a great
I believe
address.
it's going to go well, Gary.
I think they're all going to go well this weekend, Philip. I think there's interest across the board because the market seems to feel like it's back. But that one's in Carnegie. It's a Villa unit, Philip. It's at 12:30. Come and check out Graham Callan and see him do his thing. One of our many auctioneers. In addition to, of course, in that office now we've got Graham Callan, we've got David Thompson, Leor. Just 3 auctioneers just in that office. In fact, there's more auctioneers in that office than in our office in Caulfield.
Gary, Adriana, who is in our Carnegie office,
we've got 3 in Caulfield.
is in our auctioneer training program.
Yes,
so we're pretty excited that shortly we will have our first female auctioneer.
And she'll be a gun. Well, she is a gun.
I've got to tell you, in the auction training that I had, I thought she was a bit of a natural. So looking forward to bringing her through the process
and train our people so well that we'll be out of employment before we know it, Philip. No, they are very good, and we do have, well, that's it. We've got 7 or 8 auctioneers now, so well done to all of those auctioneers that come out there every weekend doing their thing. So, Phil, that's a big wrap on GPTV. No Thursday show.
We're not going to talk about the auctions that are coming up?
No Thursday show, no auctions coming up. We've talked about them already because that was them.
But the one that you missed was Moody Street.
Oh, I did miss Moody Street.
Moody Street. We've got a fantastic investment or a development opportunity.
Of course.
Moody Street is on a very large piece of land,
It's
Gary.
not on the list here, Phil. Somebody's going to get disciplinary notice today.
Walking distance to some of the best facilities. So if you think about it,
how many apartments are there?
Is it Caulfield East or is it Carnegie? We've got 4 apartments, 2 2-bedrooms and 2 3-bedroom apartments, and then there is a single-storey villa at the front. So this could be bought for refurbishment, Gary. It could be bought for the land content. It could be bought as the most incredible investment. And as we both know, blocks of apartments, and particularly the smaller ones, have made outstanding investments over the years.
Block of 5 on one title?
On one title, Gary.
Incredible.
And you wouldn't be able to build that there today. So
that is an exciting property. Ben Rothschild, I know, has been very excited about it.
He has, Gary.
He's a gun, and he's excited about that. So when you get an excited gun, you know the bullets are going to be firing.
I don't think in this time and this environment we need to refer to guns or bullets.
Well, not in America, Philip. It has a very different meaning here. Phil, that is a big wrap on GPTV as we wrap the market and we think, is it possible? Did it happen? Because it's so good out there at the moment, isn't it, really?
Well, we called it. We did call it, viewers. Just rewind your GPTV shows. You'll see that about 3 months ago, we said the market would be back.
Something else we called. A few years ago, we stood on this program and joked about possibly having 2 leaders that we thought, is it possible that 2 crazy-haired leaders in Donald Trump and Boris Johnson, we joked about this on the show before either of them had stepped up to the plate. It would be great to find that episode and replay it.
So this is a hard-hitting political futurist show.
It is. We talked about, imagine how fun it would be, and we had a good belly laugh about those 2 people rising to power.
Wait for this. My tip. Boris Johnson will be the Prime Minister of England.
There you go.
But he will call a conference where he and Donald Trump will mediate Kim from North Korea. Can you imagine the photo opportunity of those 3 standing together?
Brilliant.
If that photo ever happens, viewers, there is no question. I now know why Elon Musk wants to colonise Mars, because he just wants to get the hell
out of this world. Yeah, forget about it.
So the guy is a genius.
Yeah, but we did. Did you remember that episode we did that? Yeah, very funny. Anyway, there you go. Sometimes fact is stranger than fiction, and there it is right there, Phil. It's all happening. In July, in winter, it's been cold, but the market's warming up as we get ready to start listing for spring and seeing out the rest of our winter sales. It's a big wrap on GPTV. I'm Gary Pearce.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fantastic week.